Hey guys, this is Builder, and this is a video of my CTON with me, Pimderks, Rosstown, and Tommynt. So I moved down to the what is it called, Silk, I believe, from the plains tile just above it, and I find a nice gold tile with a couple of deer nearby, so I'll be able to get a nice granary start going. I also, I love to settle on the mining luxury. That gives you the very nice hammers early. It gives you very nice gold production, and the gold is very nice for the Iroquois because they can get as many mohawks as they can upgrade as many mohawks as you have gold. So gold is kind of the restricting factor. What I'm doing in my city is a little trick you can do where when your city grows during the turn, and so you get so you've already counted the food and then you grow, and so you get another worker in the middle of a turn as the turn is like rolling over. So what you want to do is have that worker work the tile you want. So what you do is you lock down the guys you have. You put the little lock on all those tiles so they won't change, and then you set your focus to either hammer or sometimes gold focus works, and then that next citizen will grow up and work a hammer tile, so you'll get 2 extra hammers than you would otherwise, because otherwise the governor would have put the worker on the what's it called, open tile, the floodplains tile, and I would have gotten no extra hammers. And so you can see that's why I finished the monument that turn, even though the game thought it would finish in 2 turns. So I find a nice gems tile, but it's right next to a city-state. There's 4 city-states in this game, and still no barbarians and no ancient ruins. So I like that. It's a nice balance. City-states are a nice little thing to throw in. They give, they let it so some civs can use their unique ability, either Siam or, what's the other civ? Greece can use their special ability. The map has water, so you can use the English ability, although not the Ottoman ability. So I wasn't quite finished with my researching pottery, so I just built a scout to kind of take up the extra time. Again, I'm getting my granary in because I have 2 deer near my capital, which will both give me a +1 food when I get the tile will yield +1 food, +1 more food when I get the granary in, which will set my growth off. So I'm just searching around. I'm not quite sure which direction to go. Again, researching up to ironworking. And I need to pull my, actually, scratch that, there are barbarians in this game, which I also kind of like. Again, there's a couple abilities based on that, and the honor path has the barbarian ability. Again, see, I lock my tiles down and then I set it on hammer focus so that when I grow, I'll get the hill tile. So I really need to protect my free unit that I'm about to get next turn, and that's why I brought my scout back. If I had been thinking about the barbarians a little bit more, I probably would have taken my warrior back a little bit sooner. And so by setting it on gold focus, I'm setting it up to work the silk tile, because the silk is the highest gold yield tile that I have around. So I just kill off that barb that's nearby my city. I don't know, maybe not the greatest thing. Maybe I should have... No, it was probably a good thing to get him. Now I need to figure out a good place to send my settler. And I'll be getting some nice growth once the granary finishes. Getting like +1 gold or +1 food right now, and then it goes up to a nice +4 food. So I'm the Iroquois, so I get the move through forest as if it were a road, which is nice in that it allows you to cross a river. So my settler is is trying to go across a river, so it can just hop into the forest for half a movement point and keep on going, which is a little bit strange, but that's how the ability works. And right now I'm really figuring out how much do I need to protect my settler. Then we get a nice little reload. We all get back into the game. and I had to start up my video recorder again because like the whole game crashed and we had to rehost. Just checking out the tiles I'm working. Again, I want to get the gold in because I can upgrade as many warriors as I have gold. So I'm settling on that tile. It's a nice spot. It has the hills next to hills. It has a sheep nearby. It has a silk, but I already have silk. I don't know. I just need to get, I want to get my city down because there's barbarians all over the place. I probably wouldn't be able to go much further if I tried to. So, build my city. I need to get out a warrior, and the reason I'm doing that is because I don't have very many right now. Yeah. Just making sure I'm working the good tiles. I just got the deer tile, which is the tile I want to be working because it's a good tile already, and then it gets improved by the granary. So then I know my scout will heal 2 hit points, and it's already fortified, so it'll probably be safe from the barbarian, even though right now it only has 1. And so I'm setting a little bit more for gold focus in my city. Again, trying to keep the what's it called? That tile worked. Oh my goodness. And I murder my scout by trying to attack a barbarian with 2 hit points. Probably, I don't know if like the odds were for me in that battle, and I just got bad luck, or if I just screwed up there. But let's see, warrior. I'm building a lot of warriors right now because my neighbors are. I think I want to be able to rush my neighbor. And about the players I'm playing, Tommy has the Aztecs. I have the Iroqouis. Pimderks has the Ottomans, and what's his face? Rosstown has India, which is kind of ironic because he was the one who was saying, "Oh, we can't have India rehost. We can't," and then he got India. So that worked out, or didn't work out for him. I'm just pulling my warrior back. It was pretty risky to attack that barbarian right there. I'm trying to farm experience off them. So right here I'm managing my workers. I want to have them working all hammers so I can get that warrior out as quickly as possible. I'm trying to get ready to rush someone. If you look, I have 215 gold, and that's enough. I'll have, once I get iron working, I'll have 250, which will be enough for 5 warrior upgrades. Again, working my tiles. I'm putting it on a, you can either have 2 1-food tiles or 1 2-food tile and 1 0-food tile. And so I'm playing around with that because Barbarian is standing on my tiles. Also, what else? Standing on my tile. I'm capturing him with my zone of control with my warrior there so he can't run away. So he can only move 1 tile in any direction. Rosstown is already expanded to Mumbai. I didn't actually meet him. I stayed back, and so I didn't see him. I'm not really sure if that's a great idea. I don't know. I like to, if I've seen somebody, I like to kind of keep it a secret. So I know there's a player up above me, because that's how everybody sorted out, so I'm going to send a settler up there to try to attack him. Rosstown is pretty well, his territory, it would take a while for me to march all the way over there. And since it's a rectangle map, the player above me will be closer. So I'm going to go look for them. so I'm just trying to stay safe away from the barbarians. My warrior finds the Ottomans, Pimderks, and I think I looked at the statistics for his army, and he had a pretty small army, so I'm gonna get ready to rush him. So, and ideally I'd found a city right there, but I cannot because his city is too close, so I'm gonna move back and settle on the horses. Meanwhile, the barbarians are giving me a nice time. I don't know, I like what the barbarians are doing in this game. Doing a pretty good job. Just kind of slowing everything down. It just gives you more stuff to think about when you're playing. And he kills one of my warriors, but that's okay, because I kill his right back. Would have rather kept mine, but I probably have more warriors than his, so an even trade is fine, in my book. And now I'm going to start upgrading. Trying to figure out where I want my worker to go. Again, I get the nice crossing the river with the forest nearby. The Iroquois get the forest you can travel through forests like roads, and they make trade routes. And I guess I might as well say a couple reasons why we don't often play with barbarians. They create lag in the game, meaning the turns take a little bit longer to finish off. And in like a duel or a teamer, they can be unfairly attacking one team. And so like one team might get lucky and not really get hurt by the barbarians that badly, and one team might get wrecked by the barbarians. I'm not quite sure how that barbarian got to my worker. I thought there was a forest in the way, so he wouldn't be able to get to me. But unfortunately, he was able to get to me, even though there was a forest right there. At least it looked like it. I'm still not really sure how he did that. Again, so like for a team game, it's like you don't want a game to be determined by who happens to get their iron pillaged by a barbarian and then loses game because of that. Probably should have waited to move that Mohawk till the end of the turn. But the thing is, I'm not a big wait till the end of the turn person. A lot of other players do it a lot more than I do. And I'm just only now building a worker, which is probably a little bit late. I probably would have wanted to and built a worker a little bit earlier than I did in this game. Meanwhile, Pimderks is kind of stuck in his capital. Oh, another problem with the barbarians in Civ is that in single player, they spawn and then they wait a turn. They just sit there because they that's just how they work. They're created by the barbarian camp, and then they sit there and don't do anything for a turn. But in multiplayer, they spawn and then they move in that same turn. So you cannot be within 2 tiles of a barbarian, but then in the middle of the turn it will spawn and move and take your unit, which is very annoying. Additionally, I believe in single player, if you have say a worker that's being threatened by a barbarian, it'll the turn, you'll press enter turn or end turn, and then the turn will roll over, and it'll pop up and say, oh, unit needs orders. The worker sees the barbarian and tries to run away. But I do not think that happens in multiplayer, which makes barbarians just more annoying to deal with. Also with barbarians, I think part of the goal of barbarians is to create kind of another reason to build military. So if you have more military than you need, you can use it to attack barbarians. And if you have less military, so you get a bonus by attacking the barbarians, you get gold or whatever. And if you have less military than from attacking the barbarian, then less military than necessary, you get attacked by the barbarians and you lose stuff. And so it kind of provides an incentive to attack or build military when you're not actually at war. So you have to have something instead of just walking around with no units. Again, pillaging, it's a nice thing to do. Especially, I know he's not going to get shot, so it's not that important that he be fortified. My unit just pillaged the gear tile. It had a something. It had something there, and I pillaged it. Barbarians. What was I saying about them? I don't remember. Oh well. Anyway, I'm attacking Istanbul. Oh yeah, wasn't I talking about? I was talking about, you know, if you don't have enough military, they pillage you. But the thing is, in these games, we're always at war. So if you don't have enough military, you get taken over. As the case may be with this guy I'm attacking, because he didn't go for iron right away. Because he has trapping resource. So then I heal him instant. Instant heals are a very useful thing for taking a city down, especially if they're well timed, because you can. I should probably be fortifying my unit. I don't think he was. I think I was trying to fortify him, but he wouldn't. It was kind of strange. So I'm kind of attacking their city. Barbarians. So again, if you don't have enough army in the games we play, since they're always war games, you get taken over. So there's the incentive there already to build barbarians, and then they add in bad parts of the game, like the critiquing workers when you can't see them, the workers don't remind you when they're nearby a dude, and other stuff, which just kind of make the game a little bit less enjoyable. And so I've taken his capital down to 1 hit point. I believe I had an instant heal on that Mohawk, and he, which means that he won't attack, because when a Mohawk has, or when any unit has an insta heal with a turn timer, they won't move until you give them a promotion. In single player, you can move, and then, you know, it'll, because there's no turn timer, so then it forces you to take the promotion. You just can't end the turn. But in multiplayer, since you could just wait out the turn timer and have it save its promotion every turn, that wouldn't really work. So then I give him an insta heal, and I'm there, and I take the city. And I'm very excited. Very excited. And actually, this was actually kind of a nice capital to be taking, because it has some unique luxuries. So, like, it'll cover up the happiness for me taking the city. And Tommy's being silly. But it might take me a while to get all those luxuries up and get my happiness up. Fortunately, I'm about to discover trapping, which means that the puppet will hopefully build a circus, which is a nice building. It costs no maintenance, and it will help me get stuff. It'll help me get more happiness. Because the puppets they're not smart, but they have a little decision-making process they go through. They make like a culture build. If they're like around military, they'll make a defense building. If you're unhappy, they'll make a happiness building, and otherwise they build like a monument. So I need some happiness right now, so I'm building some happiness buildings. So again, the city is settled on gems, so that takes care of 4 happiness, and then there's 2 other luxuries which I don't have. Of course, if I go back and think about it, those are luxuries I probably could have picked up elsewhere on the map, meaning I can't settle another city on a unique luxury, and I'd rather have my own city than a puppet. And I never really had enough happiness to be able to annex a city. So it kind of held me down a little bit. It had some luxury, so it wasn't the worst thing, but for example, if I found a gem spot, I probably wouldn't settle it because I already have gems. So in that way, it held me back some. But it gave me a lot more land, a lot more stuff to work with, which is very nice. Just managing my workers. I want my cities to be working the good tiles, just because I'm selfish that way. I don't want the puppet to be working any good tiles my other cities could reach. And so you can go into the other city, and if another city is working it, it gives a little swirly, and you can click on that and get your own city to work it. And so I want to be friends with Quebec City, because we don't normally play with city-states, so I want to have a city-state friend. You get 12 influence by killing a barbarian, which is actually a significant amount. Before it was like 5 or something, so it was impossible to do anything with it. And my warrior was killed by barbarian, so it probably wasn't very smart to attack that guy. I probably should have attacked the guy on the top instead of the guy in the middle, because the guy in the middle obviously had 2 guys on each of their sides, so they had more guys to attack me with. And I don't know, I guess I'm a little bit rusty. I haven't played that much with barbarians recently. You can get better at knowing, when they're going to attack and when they don't. So I'm just exploring around with my Mohawk. I want to be able to meet my neighbors. I know that my neighbor now is not Tommy, which is a good thing. He's a good player. I'd much rather not be next to Tommy, because he's going to eat up his neighbor pretty soon, probably. And actually I'm a little bit threatened right now. There's kind of barbarians romping around, and I need to keep my great general safe. I'm not sure if that was the safest place to put him, but whatever. So I'm working up the kind of more education tech path right now, because I feel pretty safe. Through theology, I'll try to get the Hagia Sophia for the free great person, probably. I'll try to finish Liberty soon. Yeah, and come to think of it, I don't really like where my 3rd city, what's it called? Zoom out. Can't see it. Not as nimble. Building a plantation, get some more happiness with my worker. Up, up, up. And what I just did with my worker there is I was building a farm, but I don't actually want to build a farm there. It's that there's a movement point, extra movement point that I can use, which I don't need to. That was strange. The city-state thought it was at permanent war with me, but it wasn't. A little bit buggy messages there. Anyway, my 2nd city that I founded, Grand River, I don't really like where it is because it has no hammer tiles at all. I mean, it has those hills, but it's not going to get those hills for a while. I'm not sure. Did I stop recording there for a second? I'm not sure. It might have jumped a couple of turns. Sorry. Yeah, I think it did. I think I stopped recording. Oh well. Not much happened. I improved electricity, my city's got happy, they're starting to grow a little bit. Killed barbarian, I kept on exploring, I built a scout. I'm gonna make the same mistake over again and get my scout killed by a barbarian, probably. Or maybe not, you never know. I have some very nice gold per turn because I took my Golden Age social policy, the, is it representation, I believe. I kind of run into a little bit of a trap with my Mohawk, and there's not really a good city spot. I can take out the barbarian easily because he's in a forest where I get a bonus. Yeah, Grand River. No hammers, not on a river. No unique luxuries. It has some cows, which are nice. It has horses, but it's founded on the horses, so you don't get the improved yield. And I'm able actually to kill off a couple of barbarians. And so now I'm considering actually getting an ally status with the city-state. If I give them 250 gold, or, yeah, 250 gold, I'll be able to become an ally for a little bit, get another luxury hopefully, and be all good. So I'm building the Oracle, which will get me in my last social policy a little bit quicker. Just looking for Tommy. I haven't found him yet. He's pretty far down there, it looks like. My city is in We Love the King Day, which is nice. It increases your growth. You know, if I really wanted to play a little bit more seriously, I'd probably have to pay more attention to what all my cities were demanding, but I don't think about that very much. And, you know, again, the nice thing about the Iroquois, I only now have to improve my iron. I'm trying to get libraries in so I can get my national college up, so I can get fast tech rate. And that's another thing, why that city just isn't very good. It just doesn't have the hammers to get the tech rate. So I find Tommy in one of his cities. He's the Aztecs, which will give him very nice. He gets the early warrior to upgrade, which will give him, which is nice. He gets the culture from killing things, which is useful because you kill a lot of stuff in multiplayer. And he gets the building, floating gardens, which gives him plus 15% food, not plus 15% food excess, so it's different from a lot of other bonuses, because it actually increases the amount of food you get, as opposed to the amount of extra food, so it helps you work hammers, it helps you. Your cities are a lot better because of it. It's a really strong bonus over a long game. In the short game, it doesn't matter as much, because, again, you're not growing. So I think I just recently met Rosstown, because I saw his horseman with my scout. My tech rate is going along nicely. I'm not thinking very well, and I should have pillaged and then, but I kind of forget about it because I'm looking at other units. The barbarian tried to attack me and failed epically. And what I'm trying to do right now is trying to find a nice defensive spot for a city with that settler I have, because I want to, when Tommy starts attacking me, if he attacks me that direction, I want to have it be defensible. And so his horseman attacked me through a city-state, which is generally something you're not allowed to do. It's like you have to attack from an empty tile generally, and he didn't, which is kind of strange. And because I was so mad about me losing my scout, I also lose my warrior and don't even pillage their gold or move away, which is pretty stupid. Just lost a Mohawk because of that. A little bit concerned about my city-state friend there, Quebec City. I don't want their luxury to get pillaged. I don't particularly feel like helping them defend themselves. I'm just kind of a lazy ally that way, I guess. So, my ally will attack the horseman as he goes by. That'll be nice. Maybe he'll build some military sometime soon, which would also be very nice. The interesting thing is maybe I could have taken over some nearby city-states and gotten some unique luxuries, which would have been nice. But again, I didn't have very much happiness, so it's like it would have hurt my other cities. I use a great engineer to hurry the Hagia Sophia, which I can use to then get another great engineer. So it's like I come out, I start with a great engineer, I end with a great engineer, and I also come out with a wonder, which nobody else can get. So I think it's a pretty good thing to do because it eliminates the risk that you don't get it by trying to build it yourself. I'm about to lose ally status with Quebec City, so I don't know. maybe it wasn't a great thing to be doing. So again, I get the Great Engineer again. And I'm looking at some good wonders I can get. I was thinking about saving it for maybe an education wonder like the Notre Dame or Free Great Scientist Wonder Porcelain Tower. But I'm impatient and I like the Hanging Gardens, and I really don't want Tommy to get the Hanging Gardens because the Aztec growth bonus with Hanging Gardens is ridiculous. So I got the Hanging Gardens, and so I essentially build 3 wonders in a row, which is very nice. Why am I building Stonehenge? Don't build Stonehenge, you idiot. You've already finished Liberty. You don't want more culture. Anyway. I'm probably going to build like a garden or something stupid like that. Or I build a spearman because he had a horseman nearby, which is still a little bit silly. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's alright. But then the problem is I built another spearman because I'm just silly that way. Or no, I tried to build Stonehenge, which is even more silly. I was looking ahead at what social policies I can get, and the thing is, after Liberty, after your great finisher, the social policies aren't quite that important. You can get the rationalism bonus, which can be pretty nice, but that happens a lot later. Again, I could build something useful, like, say, I don't know, the pyramids, which is very nice. Or I could just sit back and build useless spearmen, which is currently what I want to do. Probably like, ooh, look, I can build a spearman in only 1 turn. I should build it. So I'm researching up, I'm fighting unhappiness, trying to keep my cities growing, trying to get the National College in. I want to get up to education quickly so I can get my tech rate up, so I can get up to Renaissance, the riflemen, and the eventually artillery. Barracks, that's alright, but I'm not building military, so why do I need a barracks? I guess maybe I'm expecting to be attacked, but I'm not sure. I'm, keeping my Mohawks around to deal with barbarians. So now I'm going to go down piety so I can get some happiness, the organized religion happiness. Again, I move my other Mohawk towards him first so I can get the 10% flanking bonus. I found a city next to a barbarian camp so that it goes away. If you found a city on a barbarian camp, it leaves. I don't know if that's... the amount of gold you get from a barbarian camp is only like 16, so it's really not that much. I'm making 11 gold per turn right now. Now again, that city kind of ruined my National College plans because now I can't. Maybe it would have been better to build the National College earlier. Or build my National College and then, instead of all these spearmen and the barracks, build the National College and then found the city so I could get my tech rate up a little bit more. Because again, you want probably the National College in your Hanging Garden city, because that city will grow a lot, so you want to have as much tech rate in that city as possible. And since I'm in happiness, I realize I don't really need to be working all those hammer tiles. I'm going to go to some food tiles and I'll get some nice massive growth there. And barbarians, if there's an empty camp nearby, they almost always go back to go into it, so I'm pretty sure you won't attack my injured spearmen. Oh, and I've gotten more influence points with the city-state by attacking nearby barbarians, so that I've shot back up to ally, which is very nice. I decided I'm going to get the Great Wall now, so it's harder to attack me. Again, building a library in Akisami. And City-State gave me a quest to see that, get that barbarian camp, so that's how I was able to see it. Getting the Great Wall up. I'm researching education. Good stuff. There's not, the barbarian boat won't really do much, so I might as well just bombard it. I'll finish the Great Wall around the time I do education, so I'll be able to get a university in very quickly. I'm thinking about it, maybe it would have been a better idea to be able to get the Notre Dame right away, try to build the Notre Dame right off the bat with Onondaga. But I let Aokisame grow to 2 population, so I could work a hill and a hill and a open terrain, so I could get more gold. Maybe I could have just worked the hill, because I have a city-state ally that would keep my city growing, so it has +1 food. So instead of being neutral with working a hill, I'd be at +1 food, so I'd grow in 10 turns. So yeah, and I'd be able to get my librarian sooner and my national college a little bit earlier. Looking back, I feel like one thing I should have done when I started out early, I was a little bit focused on war. I should have maybe built up a little bit more instead of just rushing the guy really quickly. Maybe build a couple cities, a couple workers, and not just spam build warriors. Because building all those warriors, I mean, slows down your Civ. You just have less stuff then because of that. I decided to work on a catapult in it's Osinaka, just because I want to have something to defend myself, maybe a little bit, maybe on my upper side. I don't have anything better to build, so I might as well. The thing about the I've already said that. You can see Tommy has very good manufactured goods, and I'm leading in pretty much everything else, including score. But manufactured goods is a very important statistic, so don't just throw that out immediately. That I have, more points, so I'm winning. Manufactured goods are very important. So now I'm going to protect my worker as I improve the farm over there. Be able to get the Great Wall next room, which would be nice for some good defense. And I'll be able to pop out a university probably. My cities are growing pretty well. I don't have that much happiness, but I'll be able to build some more happiness buildings. It's nice again. The barbarian is in a forest, which gives me the bonus that actually gets rid of the attacking over a river penalty. Working on a road up again. Once the population of the city is more than the roads, you need to hook it up. I build the road, so I'd only need 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles to hook up Grand River, so I will, and then I only need 1 or 2 more further tiles to be able to get it to the old capital Istanbul because of the line of forests and jungles around. So I'll be earning a little bit of extra gold that way. I'm going to decide I want to kind of have this advanced scout just to make sure Tommy isn't going to try to sneak up on me. I'm going to get a scout out to check out India too, just really quickly. I'm almost ready to get my library out, and I'm switching to the stone tile because the stone is just a better tile than the floodplains, the unimproved floodplains. And since I have the barracks, I'll be able to give my scout the sight bonus, which is very nice. The 3 sight is useful because it's just more than you can see than a normal unit can move in a turn. Now, come to think of it, I could have used that catapult to help on the barbarian camp, but whatever. Working on a university again in my second city. And I need some extra happiness, so I'm going to build a Colosseum. The turns are not doing very much right now. I'm just attacking, or they're. I'm pretty sure Tommy and Rosstown are fighting right now. And that's why the turns aren't taking that long. One thing I did with my puppet yeah, see, I'm doing pretty good in the demographics wise. It's interesting, if you notice, Tommy's approval was at 100%, which means he has, like, I don't know, a lot of happiness. It's like 6 or something. I'll get organized religion, which will give me a nice little boost in happiness. Again, what's I gonna say? Building universities. They're a strong building to build. When you get them, you want to make sure you're filling the specialist slots to get more tech rate if you have a big enough city. Now, I think I just need more workers right now. I feel like I don't have enough. Because I think my cities are all working on improved tiles. Now I'll start off on a what's it called? Coliseum in Top City. What I'm trying to do with my scout down below is trying to sneak a unit down. Really, that worker that's just farming random grassland should be working on the riverside tiles of my capital. And I lost friend status with Quebec City, or ally status, I'll just get that right back. Get a nice, what's it called? The Iroquois building, the longhouse in my capital. getting the ironworks for the Iroquois is a little bit different from getting it normally, because the longhouse costs fewer hammers, but you need forest tiles to like make it a good building. Otherwise, it just gives you 2 hammers. It doesn't give you the 10%, I don't think. I'm researching chivalry right now, which I think might be kind of a waste. I don't think I'm going to use knights. My plan was to build him edgy castle so I could be a little bit more defensible, but in the long run, I feel like I need to be working towards something. Because in the long run, both the combination of the Aztec building and just Tommy's kind of superior play will probably be able to overwhelm me. So I have the Great Wall. If I get the even if I get the Himeji Castle, he'll probably still be able to have a lot more units than me. I have some very nice gold per turn. A little bit of excess happiness. I keep on growing out of it and keep on having to build happiness buildings. Just farming up, grow. Again, I'm trying to sneak this scout down below, maybe pillage iron, see what they have. You know, check out what's going on between Tommy and Rosstown. Just zooming in, I want to be able to sneak in without him seeing me, but I believe his borders are too tight for me to be able to do that. I'm gonna see if I can distract him with some spearmen. I don't know what type of a... This is a very legit thing to be doing. I don't know. If you... Oh, you just saw one of the Indian cities. You can see it was damaged, meaning that it was still in the green, but it was damaged, and that means that Tommy's attacking him. See Mumbai? It's taking damage. And what I think I'm doing right now is I'm waiting for my worker to be able to make it to the cows, or the horses, which are down below, because I want to be able to improve the horses and be able to get a circus in that city, get some more happiness. But it's not really working that way, because it's taking me a while to gain those tiles. Again, I'm trying to sneak by him without him seeing me, with him seeing me as little as possible. Hopefully he'll be engaged in combat and he won't be able to spare any units to attack my scout. And then I see a barbarian camp, which kind of complicates things a little bit. I really don't want to be near the barbarian, but he has a lot of military units nearby as well. Meaning the Indian player, Rosstown. And I realize I should probably be going for rifles, so that I can rush maybe Tommy from behind and attack him, be able to take some cities. Again, my scout can see 3 tiles away, and he can see me because of his cultural border. The culture borders see 1 tile away from them. So I can see him and he can see me. My scout, meaning. And he has very good military units right there.
The elephant would probably be able to one-shot my scout, the war elephant. And I'm gonna leave a spearman up there again as a scout for kind of seeing if anybody's coming. And I get bored leaving my Mohawk there. I gotta do something else. I decide I want to sneak up around on Tommy too. I'm gonna have my Mohawk go up and around and try to maybe pillage something, find out where their capital is, because that's what I will probably want to take or target. And I get a great scientist. One thing, that's what part of the goal of working specialists is. When you work specialist, you get great scientist points, and once you hit a certain threshold of those points, you receive a great person of that category. So if you like work merchant specialist slots, which you probably shouldn't, you will get a great merchant. And if you work great science, or if you work scientist slots, you get a great scientist. And again, I waste all this time. I'm researching acoustics. Why am I researching acoustics? Do I need acoustics? No, I don't need acoustics. I'm thinking maybe the Kremlin for some defense, but again, will that help me that much? Again, Mumbai is still damaged, which means it's being attacked. But then a stinking barbarian archer spawns, and my scout isn't able to get around him. My Mohawk in the top is having much more success, because obviously he's a much stronger melee unit. He doesn't just get killed right away like the scout does. I don't know if this is when, but I start cutting turns so that trying to shorten them up a little bit, because Tommy and Rosstown are fighting, which takes a long time, and since I'm not involved in it, my turns are relatively short and theirs are relatively long. So the idea is that I'm going to try to go for a great scientist, or no, get a couple of great scientists and have a bunch of riflemen to attack. Hopefully Tommy will be stuck with medieval units, kind of long swordsmen, trebuchet, etc. And I will be able to steamroll him. At least a couple of cities, maybe. And I'm able to get the worker back for Quebec City, so they'll essentially be my allies for the rest of the game, which is very nice. Delhi looks like it's a pretty nice defensive spot for again defending against Tommy, because it's over a river. So if he wants to attack, it'll have to have the 20% penalty, and if he wants to try to move around it, it'll stop his movement. So that'll be pretty nice. With my Mohawk, I'm waiting at the end of the turn, trying to I'm going to try to double move against Tommy. See if he has any kind of defensive units up there. It's just making sure there aren't any other units to have. Just checking the little arrow on the right of his thing. Unfortunately, that's not his capital, Tlatelolco, because it doesn't have a little star next to it. And he sees me now because I'm next to his border. I say, what the heck, I'm going to pillage his horses. But then I look and he has 10 horses, so that really didn't do anything on him. He didn't get hurt by that very much at all. In more happiness buildings, I'll get the one from the temple, and I'll get the two from the Colosseum. Should boost me back up. I'll be able to grow some more. My research rate is doing very well. I'm at over 100 before turn 90. Or it was. Now it's after turn 90, but my research rate is doing very well. I would like to have more great scientists, but all in all, it's okay. Again, I'm doing well in all the economy stats except for manufactured goods, which is important. And I'm trying to slow down the growth in Istanbul so I can get my happiness to go to other cities, because it uses up happiness when it grows, so I'm trying to minimize that. So I'm trying to get rid of like farms and put in trading posts and other stuff. Another thing you can do to try to control growth is to only build trading posts on tiles with low food yields. So for example, you build trading posts on hills next to rivers, because puppets focus on gold, so they'll work the tile with the most gold. So if you build obviously a trading post on top of a hill, you'll be getting 2 gold, one from the river and one from the trading post. And then the city will work that tile, and it won't grow very much because it's working the tile without very much food. And then if you don't build any other farms at all around the city will, the puppet will pretty much just stagnate, which is kind of what you want. Puppets aren't really the best. I'd rather have them get your happiness go elsewhere. Getting a garden, which is nice for the great person making. And I'm retreating my worker back. I'll be able to, I'm a little bit safer from the barbarians because the Great Wall, it makes it so they can only move 1 tile at a time. So I can work a little bit longer before I pop back into the city. Gonna move my catapult out so I can bombard some of those barbarians at my borders. I'm gonna get sailing so I can get a kind of a boat out, I think, just a trireme. The obviously sailing doesn't take me very long. It's like less than my tech rate per turn, so it won't even slow me down very much. But it's just gonna be a nice long-term thing to be getting. I get the Golden Age from Piety, so I'll be able to get some more gold for, again, rifle upgrades. It costs quite a bit of money to upgrade any unit into a rifle. It costs 150 for a swordsman and 190 for a pikeman. You can also upgrade crossbowmen for 150, but since the crossbowmen get range promotions, which riflemen can't use, it's probably better not to be upgrading too many crossbows into riflemen unless they have blitz, if they're Chokanus, or unless they're the Chokanu unit, which can attack twice, or if you get march on the ranged unit, which you can get after only 2 promotions on a ranged unit, unlike standard unit, which requires 3. So if you get shot, or I don't know what, I forget, is it accuracy? Accuracy 1, accuracy 2, then you can get march, or the other 2, bombard or something. You can get a march right away, which is much faster than the melee unit, because on a melee unit it's much stronger to be healing every turn, especially with, say, medic units nearby. Again, I'm just checking, but then there keeps on being a barbarian attacking my worker. As you can see, Tommy has some crossbowmen and some trebuchets attacking Rosstown, and their units are just too strong, and they just kind of kill me pretty quickly. I was just looking at our scores and seeing how much of my score comes from wonders and how much it comes from just having actual population and stuff. So I'm gonna try to sneak a sturdier unit of horsemen by. I'm researching up to gunpowder, so I can get so I'll be able to use 2 great scientists to bulb all the way to rifling. I want to try to do another embarkation attack, so I can be able to go right at Tommy's capital. That's why I got sailing, and so I'll be scouting out with a boat. I'll get optics, which is the embarkation tech. Building a forge in my capital, which will give me a nice plus 15% modifier for melee, or for land units. And I'm training another horseman so I can go try to scout again. And it looks like their knight is threatening me. So we'll see what I do about that. I'm checking my great person progress. Look, daily is damaged. There's a bunch of little different actually they're very useful. In the research progress bar at the top left has how many turns you have left on a tech and such. But then if you click the little down button, you can select different items which are actually very useful, like economic overview, military overview. It shows you what all your units are doing, and so if you remember a unit or you can't find a unit, or you want to see what all your, if you want to find a great person maybe that you have but you're not sure what city you left it in, you can use that. You can, I forget what the other things are, but they're pretty useful. It's something that's pretty easy to miss on the interface because it's just a little thing on the top left. It's a button you don't normally think about. I'm kind of sneaking around. They're both fighting each other. They're focused on killing each other's units, which are much stronger than mine. Hopefully I'll be able to get back around and see a decent amount of both Ross's land and Tommy's land. And I'm just, with the barbarian, he'll be able to take my worker next turn. But since I have a bombard from the city, I'll be able to kill it and then take it back with a catapult. So again, there's an archer there, but then there's crossbowmen, Tommy's crossbowmen, which I do not want to offend in any way. And this time I'll try to scout the north end with a horseman. I'm gonna get machinery for hopefully for the ironworks, for the +8 hammers, probably in my capital. I'll be getting a great scientist soon, which will allow me to research up to rifling. Again, I could probably almost destroy that barbarian if I attacked it right now, but I don't want to risk getting attacked by Tommy's crossbowmen. Not the AI, Ross just allied himself with a city-state, which means he goes into permanent war with us. And I'm trying to build longswordmen. Those are pretty much the preferred unit to upgrade into rifles, because they have the same promotion path, unlike the crossbowmen. They have the ranged and they're the melee promotions versus the range promotions, and they also have they're also cheaper to upgrade than pikemen. Although, if you upgrade pikemen into riflemen, it can be pretty nice because then you can they keep the plus 100% versus mounted units, so they become ridiculous versus knights or cavalry. They just absolutely murder. They get something absurd like 50 strength. They fight like a mechanized infantry against horseman units. So that's something to consider. I'm able to sneak away with my horsemen. With the move after attack, I can attack their camp and then run out of his sight. Hopefully he won't bother to chase me because I'm not really that important. I'll be getting a great scientist next turn. Another nice thing. And I'll be able to research to rifling. The only problem is I don't have enough riflemen or enough units for upgrades for rifles right now. So again, I'm just kind of following the edge of the map, make sure he doesn't see me. I want to move them up there, so I'm kind of attacking from the top where Tommy's army isn't. He's fighting the Indian down below, so I want to attack him on the opposite side. I'll send all my units into Akisome, which is the closest city. Getting optics for my embarkation. And I need to find his capital because I want to snipe his capital, because if Tommy can take out Rosstown's capital, then me and Tommy will be the last people with their capital, the original capital. And if I take out his capital, I will win the game. And you can see India just lost their capital, so they're probably not going to take it back, so that's good. It also means that Tommy will probably be steamrolling the rest of India, and then he'll be moving on towards me with probably a pretty large medieval army of crossbowmen and trebuchet and longswordsmen, which we saw. We only saw a couple of them, but you can assume he has a pretty big army because he took over India. So, Gandhi disconnected. It's pretty much fair game for people to disconnect once they have lost their capital. That's pretty much allowed. If you quit much before that, it's kind of a bad thing to be doing. It's kind of taboo to quit before you lose your capital. And it seems like his longswordman would be able to kill my horsemen. I'm just checking how much iron Tommy has, because I want to see if I can pillage it and give him a strategic resource penalty and mess him up a little bit. But he has more than 2 extra iron, and that source of iron is only worth 2, so it would not help. I'm worried he's just going to attack with his longswordsman, which would seem like a prudent thing to do for Tommy, but he isn't. Oh, no, he's got me with a crossbowman. And did I move? Yes, I was able to move before Tommy killed it. Very nice. So I have all these longswordsmen, and hopefully all of these will be able to upgrade into, what are they called? Riflemen. Sneaking in another unit by to Tommy's top. Again, I want to try to see his capital so I can try to snipe it. Oh, and I'm just kind of scouting the area with the trireme to find the best landing point. And now Tommy's score is starting to shoot above mine because he's gaining the land from Gandhi. So I used both of my great scientists, but then I clicked twice on metallurgy, and it uses both of my scientists on metallurgy, and I got very frustrated by that. And so I'm gonna have to wait another 5 turns where Tommy will be able to research up some more. At this point, I'm out of iron, so I delete my obsolete. Hey, that rhymed. My obsolete catapult, so I can upgrade and get some more. What are they called? Upgrade, you know, some more long swordsmen for some, so I can get more riflemen. And I can see, kind of inland, a little bit. His capital is somewhere in the fog, and he's approaching me with a long sword. Hopefully I'd be able to sneak away. And be able to get back. Oh, and yes, I'm able to get a little bit. I believe I spotted, yeah, I spotted his capital. Tenochtitlan, up there. So he's at 13 population. He's less than me because he doesn't have the hanging gardens. But his other cities probably are higher population. And he has more of them because he just conquered Gandhi. Anyway, I'll be using my great scientist on rifling once I get another one, even though I wasted one already. And right now, at this point, I can kind of scout India. There's no really, reason not to. There's nothing really left for my trireme to do. I kind of have the area scouted out. At the end of my turn, I'll send in the horsemen and try to get a better picture of what Tenochtitlan looks like. And does my horseman die? Oh no, I moved it at the beginning of a turn. Oops, that was not a good idea. So now I'll just get killed right away. It won't be that bad. Again, 3 turns, so I was delayed by 5 turns by wasting that great scientist, and I lost a great scientist. And I can't make peace with Venice, which is actually kind of a problem right now, because an embarked unit takes a lot of damage when they're bombarded, like 4 damage, so they'd be able to kill off they'd actually be able to kill off at least one of my riflemen when I was passing by. Which would not be good. I'm not quite sure what Tommy was talking about with 4 allies. I think he meant city-states, but he only has 1. I'm building Himeji Castle right now in my capital, which I think is a little bit silly to be building, but, whatever. Mumbai is about to be taken by Tommy. He's about to completely eat up Gandhi. And as my next policy, I take what's it called? Freedom, so that I can get the faster great people. I can't go into rationalism because I took piety. And I'm able to upgrade a lot of my long swords into rifles. and I will be sending them towards Tommy soon. Another thing I probably should have done is to research, I'm going to do it soon, but I should have researched up to astronomy earlier, so that I would have been able to get the fast embarkation, which the the tiles per turn embarkation, which works through sea tiles. Again, much faster than 2, obviously, plus 50%. About to take India's last city. I'm getting ready. I'm upgrading my last couple of units. I'll be running out of gold soon. I upgraded a couple of my Mohawk warriors into riflemen, or into longsword, so I can get rifles, because they had a lot of promotions. They had the medic promotion, which is nice to have. His capital is at 22 strength right now, which is a piece of cake for riflemen with a great general. I'll be fighting at 30 strength against the city, and I will only be, and yeah, he's at 22. So now that India's conquered, I'm able to make peace with Venice, because you know, Gandhi's gone, so he's not allied with my enemy anymore. Just upgrading and embarking. I'm out of gold for upgrading units at this point, which isn't great. And I'm sending all my units embarked. Don't have enough for that last guy to be upgraded, which is sad. I don't want to send my Great General first, though. I want to lead in with Riflemen and then land my Great General. So I'll let them go first, because currently I only have the embarkation through coastal tiles, because I haven't researched astronomy yet, which I should have. I think I'm working on that now. You can see I'm researching compass. My triremes popping around, just making sure they don't have any naval units. My plan would essentially be wrecked if anybody else got, like, say, a caravel, but nobody ever builds caravels in these games, so that's good. And as you can see, Tommy has started to work on, he's started to advance towards me with crossbowmen. I'll be able to get the ironworks in my capital soon. And it's actually, this is working out pretty well, because Tommy is moving his army towards me, which means that they will be much further away from his capital than they would be otherwise. So if it works, if everything works as planned, I will be able to come up with Tommy's capital and kind of a cheesy win. Because again, you know, I have 3 or 4 rifles I'll be landing with a Great General. Actually 5 rifles that I'll be able to land. The Great General plus a couple of longswordsmen, which, you know, aren't super strong, but they're all right. They'll just kind of be a supporting unit, maybe flanking bonus help. I'll be retreating my spearmen. Or trying to, so the crossbowmen can't kill it off. But I didn't move fast enough, so he died. So they will continue to advance on me. And I will keep on advancing my units as well. And if you look, he's actually attacking Helmsky right now, so that'll be bad for him. Helmsky's probably is going down pretty quickly. Might have a unique luxury that Tommy wants. We'll be getting the ironworks. And I'm not really building that much defense because I figure if I can't take his capital, I'm probably not going to be able to win the game because Tommy just has so much more land than me right now. And the Aztec growth bonus. So, I don't know, I'm just kind of fooling around. I'm going to start calling him names so that he'll come and get me. I'm just making sure there's no units that I can see right in the area with my trireme. And Tommy's, saying, "Oh, you're not gonna win," which is, well, if he doesn't know about my rifleman, I can see how he'd think that. But I do have my rifleman, so I'm giddy with joy right now because this is gonna work. Tommy's gonna die. Tommy's a really good player, so beating Tommy is quite an accomplishment. I'm using the chat to the dead player, so it's not going to anyone. So I'm just talking there. This game was a little bit longer than I would have preferred, because again I wasn't involved in much fighting after my neighbor died. If I think back, I probably should have built more economy before I tried to conquer my neighbor. Again, because it kind of crippled me in the long term, even though I was able to stop working on my neighbor very much. I'm just looking at Tenochtitlan. I'm making sure I'm checking the river. Fortunately, the river is on the opposite side of Tenochtitlan, so I will be able to approach it and not attack with the penalty. Although if there were a river, it would only take away my Great General bonus. I'd still have the 25 strength attacking the city. It's the minus 20 for the river, but then plus 20 for the Great General. And Tommy's pillaging. He's about to take out my ally. You can see he has tons of cannons. He has a lot of units. I don't think I'd be able to face that group face on, even if I had a bunch of riflemen, because even though he only has cannons are strong, and longswords aren't weak enough to make up for the fact that aren't so much weaker than riflemen. If they're fortified well, they have a reasonably similar strength, and so you can just build a lot of them. And I'm still going to be making fun of him to keep him goading him forwards. I think and I'm gonna yell "now die" when I land all my units, just to be dramatic, because it's more fun that way. I'm just waiting. I haven't landed all my units yet. You can only see my trireme, so that's good. I'm just gonna warn him. I'm gonna say, you better not take out my city-state or else I'll kill you. And then of course he's gonna do it because he knows, because he thinks he knows. I can't kill him, but I can. So, I'll be able to get Tommy, and I will win. I'm gonna do this. Hwah! Leave the city-state alone. Of course, Tommy has no reason to pay any attention to me. At least he doesn't think he does. And he'll probably be able to take it this turn. And yep, he does. And so, at the end of this turn, I will move in, and I give him my angry face, and I say, "You're gonna die now. Grr." Alright, we'll see. Will I be able to take the capital? Will I win the game? Tune in next week, this time, to see. Just kidding, you guys. I keep it all in one video, so you can watch it straight from the beginning to the end, all hour and a half of it. All of which I've commentated for you guys. And then I see Tommy enters the industrial era, and I go, oh no, because that means since the most important industrial era tech, and arguably the most important tech in this game is dynamite, which gives you artillery, which absolutely murder riflemen. So that's not good. And so my invasion has begun. I have landed a couple of units, and unfortunately his city strength was once at 24, and now it popped up to 28, which means that my units will be fighting at about the same strength as the city, 30 to 28. And hopefully he won't have very many units in the area to upgrade into artillery, because that would be bad. Tommy's surprised, but he doesn't think I'll be able to do anything. Fatter. Would have been fatter. But the darn great scientist went on a diet and didn't discover anything. It's very annoying. And also I could have just done it faster by researching embarkation faster. I could have done it faster by just focusing on riflemen more instead of researching like chivalry and acoustics, all of which would have sped up my research pace quite a bit. And my invasion, I've already lost one rifleman. It's not a good thing. Actually, I probably shouldn't be moving my units all at the beginning of the turn. I should probably just be fortifying them for the hell that Tommy's about to put them through. He's making like 82 gold per turn, and I don't even think he's in a golden age right now. Meaning he can practically buy an artillery every 4 turns. I don't know how much an artillery costs. It probably costs a little bit more than that. And now his defense has gone up to 31 because he has the Lancer garrisoned in the city. And meanwhile, his artillery has reached my capital, which has some decent defense because I built the Himeji Castle, which gives you a free castle. So it's at 38 defense, but really it's artillery, so that's not good. Also, my city is on a hill, meaning he can see it when he's only 2 tiles away. Not good. And so, I don't know, Tommy doesn't think me being 5 turns faster would have helped. But, I mean, he wouldn't have had artillery, which take out half of my health. Take out half of my health. And so I'm still working on it. I'm still trying to get him, but he's killing off my units left and right, unfortunately. and meanwhile his forces advance on my capital. So, this game doesn't seem like it's working out for me that well. I mean, it was a nice idea, the sneak attack, but when you're playing against a player with just so many more hammers than you, and I obviously didn't play that great this game. I could have built the National College earlier. I could have not attacked my neighbor earlier. I probably still could have waited a little bit and taken him out later. Maybe focus a little bit more on happiness, try to get the Notre Dame a little bit more, instead of doing my triple wonder chain to try to get the Hanging Gardens. That maybe I should have just gone for the Notre Dame instead. I might have been able to beat Tommy to the I could have built more economy rather than attacking him early. Maybe I could have, but beyond that, maybe built more workers, have more improved tiles. At this point, I'm just bashing his capital. I got it down into the yellow, to less than half hit points, which is, I don't know, I guess that's kind of an accomplishment. His capital's a little bit lower strength than mine is. But as for what I did wrong, it's hard to say just one thing I did wrong. Tommy is a very good player. I believe he had a 71 game winning streak against good players. For example, one thing he's doing is that he's building roads. He's brought a bunch of workers along, and he's building roads for his artillery so he can set up and fire more quickly. Which is just, for example, I know, like, I once I see it, I say, wow, that's a good idea, but I didn't think of it myself. And so it's just probably a bunch of things like that he does in his, that just are better than mine. You know, I might say, oh yeah, that's a good idea, but I didn't think of it myself. So anyway, he's got my capital down to 1 hit point. Once he takes it, he'll win. He got the pyramids again, so it gives you the plus 25% worker speed on top of the citizenship worker speed, which lets you build a road in 1 turn. So here's the replay. Hammer score, he did better near the end. Bullet production, he did better. Please tell me what I did wrong in the comment section, how I could have beaten Tommy. And thanks for watching.